I am intentional about the way that I live my life. I'm intentional about the decisions that I make for my life because I realize these decisions have long-lasting consequences. Hi, this is Dr. Anita with another Diamond Moment. The diamonds of our lives are produced through time, heat, and pressure, but it's up to us to gather the value from these experiences in order to grow. If these messages have enlightened you, helped you, caused you to think about some things that maybe you would not have, I'm asking you to please like, subscribe, share, and comment. I want to hear from you. Today, our topic goes back to the fact that we are all alike. But this time, we're looking at it in light of the fact that as we put our plan together, your plan may need to change depending on one factor. In the United States, it is the vote. We're looking at your social plan. So I suggest using your Diamond Journey Journal. Becoming is a process. A process has stages by me, Dr. Anita McLaughlin, and capture your thoughts, your plan for your spiritual life, your financial life, today your social life, emotional or physical needs. This is a one-year journal without dates. You simply begin by starting the day that you receive it, making small, manageable, bite-sized monthly, weekly, and daily tasks that will move you forward in whatever your goal may be. By this time next year, you should be quite a good way along on the road to achieving your goals. So, if you got your journal, let's get started. Again, today we're talking about putting a plan together, understanding that underneath all things, we are spiritual beings. We're living in a natural world, and we are all subject to the same things, no matter what our political viewpoint might be, no matter what our gender or age or ethnicity or our financial status. We are all dealing with the same things. When we're looking at that hierarchy of needs on the social level, I want us to give some thought because depending on when you're listening to this, the election, as I am putting it online, is tomorrow. This should air for the first time on November 4th. And depending on what the outcome is of tomorrow's election, you may well have to put a new plan in place for your life. If you've been with me, you know that we have been working through overcoming limiting ideas and concepts, being able to move past the hindering belief systems of our past, whether they come from our families, whether they come from a belief system, or whether they come from just the experiences that we've had. We're moving forward to be better than we were, not less than we were. So we've also been looking at this hierarchy of needs, looking at how we are so much alike because we all experience these same needs, hopes, and desires at different stages and ages in our lives. If you're in that area between 18 and 30, you're looking at developing your personal identity on the lower end of that, on the 18 side of that. You're looking at who you are, the way that you feel about yourself, whether you are consistent in your life with what society has imposed as gender norms for you, or whether you fall outside of what other people may feel is acceptable, but you feel as though that's just you. Are you in that place where you're affected by what one of the candidates calls locker room talk? Are you the person who would be victimized by being sexualized in the marketplace or just in life in general? Are you in that area in the 18 to 30 year range where you're looking at and having to consider reproductive issues, your reproductive health, whether you are planning on having a family or not? Are you looking at needing to make decisions regarding birth control? Maybe you want to have a family and now you have to make decisions regarding IVF. Maybe it's a choice that you may not have, because if you make the wrong decision, and enough American citizens make the wrong decision in this election, your rights may be forever removed that you will never get back. So it's very important that we become responsible from a social level on what we do, on the decisions that we make, and how not only can it affect us, but it can affect others around us. As we move forward, saying and thinking that we are all alike, we have these same things in common. If you're in that age group between 31 and 55, are you dealing with childcare? How do you make enough money to be able to afford to have appropriate care for your child while you're working? Because there's part of this debate that says that the minimum wage doesn't matter. You get what you get. You work 3 jobs in order to do one or have one level of lifestyle. So even in terms of being able to confidently pay for the child care that your child may need falls into the same area of this one election. Maybe you want to purchase a home someday, or you're looking at needing to move to another apartment, but the cost of living is so expensive. Rents are so high. Housing is out of reach. Where at one time in our country's history, being able to purchase a house was just a rite of passage. And now many people between those ages of 31 and 55 are still living at home. They cannot afford to move out because not only has the cost of living changed, but they've also moved into another area on that hierarchy of needs in which they may be needed to help their aging parents. If that is your life, the things that are decided in this election are pivotal on how you will live the remainder of your life. Remember, we have Supreme Court placement that will take place, and the judges are elected for life, which means if they elect young judges, they will be there for 40 or 50 years into the future. Some of you that are in that 31 to 55 year range will not outlive the choices that are before you today. So what if you're in that 55 and plus demographic? You're dealing with or looking at preparing for retirement. You're looking at whether or not you are healthy, whether you're going to need additional health care. What about Social Security? Are you going to be able to rely on something that you have deposited into your entire working career? Or, as one of the candidates wants to do, reform or repeal, remove Social Security? And what about the cost of living? Is there adequate housing for you in this age group at this time? Sometimes we look at things and we put our future off, when in all actuality, the decisions that we make today have a direct influence on the way that we live our lives tomorrow. So many people don't want to be political. They just want to live. They don't want to talk about those things. But they are the ones who are directly affected when they're moving through the stages of life, and the provisions for those stages have not been thought through, and they've made decisions that they can no longer take back. You don't want to be in that situation. So when you're making your plan for life, when you're utilizing your journal and determining what you want, depending on the stage of life that you're in, be concerned about the fact that you may be required to come up with a new normal with the outcome of the election. If you're thinking about sitting out the election, are you ready to live through what you may have to in developing a new normal for your life? When you're concerned about so many areas of life, are you even able to concentrate on what we've termed before the normal issues of life? Finding your life's partner, securing your family's future, living without the fear of your financial and medical benefits being taken away from you? Or are you going to live the rest of your life in uncertainty and let uncertainty become your new normal? It really does matter who sits in that Oval Office. And I hope if you hear this message in time, that you have made a decision that will lead to a more abundant life and not a reduced life. That you were able to cut through the hype and get to the actual basis of what's needed for your life. Do you want to be free to love who you love and be who you are? Do you want to decide when you have a child, whether your family grows or does not? Maybe you don't want to have children. Many people choose that. So will society now deem you as an unmarried cat lady? Will you be ridiculed because you chose to live your life in the way that you want to live it? Will you be put in a position where the norm is that people can touch you, as the other candidate said, that if you have money, you can do anything? Will you be put in a position where all of the tax breaks, all of the good is given to people who already have everything in life? And the only thing that the other candidate, Mr. Trump, would offer you is just to push other people down so low until you feel lifted up? Or will you move forward and have hope? Be able to laugh and to smile where it's not considered weird for you to laugh? Will you be among those that are able to pursue what they want to have in life freely because they're not being judged by the color of their skin, by their gender or gender preferences, that they are not being held back economically, that they would be able to work with equal pay, that they're not being circumvented or caused to have to work harder than other people to get to the same place? It's really important that we utilize the voice that we have today, because tomorrow that voice could just as easily be taken away from you. I want you to really remember that becoming who you want to be is a process, and you have been on that process for years. Will you allow someone to move you backwards and take away all the advances that you've made thus far in this process and have to begin coming up with a new normal and thinking about what am I going to do now? Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. Thank you so much for continuing to listen. I hope that this message and the messages that I share will be a benefit to you. But again, it's up to you. You have to put the information that you're learning into action into your own life so that things can change. If you haven't done so, please get your Diamond Journey Journal and begin to make that plan, hopefully one that is moving forward for your spiritual, financial, social, emotional, and physical goals. Join me on NoomVibe on FanBase and visit my website at www.DrAnitaMc.com. That's DrAnitaMc.com. And join me next week for another Diamond Moment.